Hello there, my lovelies. How's it going? How are we today? In the UK right now, guys, we are enjoying what is being referred to as a mini last-minute heat wave. I don't think it was very well forecast, but we're loving it. It's very nice. It's very hot. My thermostat inside the house today says it's 28 degrees inside. It's about 30 degrees outside. So naturally, most of us Brits are sunbathing in the garden, having a barbecue, or going to the beach. Hence the sea air dried mane I'm sporting today. Welcome back to my channel, Boomy Reactions. Guys, I have a treat for you today. So for all the foodies out there, we're going to be watching a foodie special video as requested by one of my lovely patrons. So this is from David. Thank you very much, David. Now, David says, all kinds of things come in a can or a tin in UK terms. Yes, you're correct. We refer to them as tins. There has been a lot of weird things in the past, and there are still a lot of weird things in these metal containers. Okay, I've seen a few. Food inside them seemingly lasts nearly forever. Dates on the cans are a new innovation in the entire history of canned goods, and are more of a suggestion than a fast rule. But what is the strangest thing to end up in a can? So this video is from Weird History Food again. I do love videos from this channel. Okay. I'm going to agree with that. Yeah. I think for most tins here in the UK anyway, I'd say the expiry date is it's a suggestion, you know, a loose suggestion. They last forever. I don't think we have quite the colourful selection of things ending up in cans as you guys in the US. The weirdest thing I've seen tinned over here, well, I've grown up with all of them, so none of them really strike me as being weird. Now, the weirdest thing I've been sent from the US, it's got to be tinned chow mein. Normally, we'd receive it, and it'd be like a frozen meal or a ready meal, so it'd come in like, you know, a container. No, I've never seen one in a tin. That's a little odd. I've heard you can have bread in a tin. The idea, that sounds pretty crazy, and I don't know why, but I find the idea of cranberry sauce in a tin, a can, quite weird. Tasty, I've tried it. It's just as delicious, but normally we'd get it in a jar. But yeah, that does tickle me, that one. Anyway, guys, done an awful lot of talking. You know what I'm like. Let's watch the video. And as ever, if you are enjoying these reactions, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much, my lovelies. If you're interested, I have a Buy Me Coffee account. That link is over here. And if you would like to help support my channel any further, I have a Patreon account. And if you want to check that out at all, that link is in the description just below there. I've just seen myself in the camera and my hair is just getting progressively frizzier and bigger. Oh my gosh.
As a people, we have made some pretty great technological strides.
Yes.
The wheel, the printing press, the camera, all of them a great benefit to the entire human race.
Absolutely.
One that maybe doesn't get spoken about enough, though, is canned food. And much like the aforementioned advances, we've done some pretty strange stuff with it, which is why today we're taking a look at the weirdest foods ever shoved into a can.
Oh, I was thinking of this earlier. Who was it? I think it might have been Bradley Robinson, I think, mentioned trying haggis in a tin. I'm sure it was him. Haggis in a tin. I mean, maybe we have haggis in a tin over here, but I don't think so. The idea of that is kind of crazy because I naturally would assume you've got to keep it refrigerated, right? So I think that's the only weird thing I find with that one.
But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. After that, please leave a comment and let us know what other weird foods you would like to hear about. Okay, time to show off our can-do attitude.
Can-do attitude?
Canned food may be a grocery store staple, but it didn't start out that way. Back in Napoleonic France in the early 1800s, the army was desperate for a way to feed soldiers on long campaigns. So, like any good organized military, they held a contest. A prize was offered for anyone who could preserve food without spoiling, and a French confectioner, Nicolas Appert, cracked the code by sealing food in jars and heating it until the microbes just gave up. The upside of this little historical nugget is that if you eat anything canned, you can now hold yourself out to your friends as a connoisseur of French food. Anyway,
Oh,
the
wow.
idea spread across Europe, and yet another Frenchman, Philippe de Girard, helped develop the first tin-plated iron cans, this time in the UK, creating the lovable, sturdier, more portable version of a Paris invention. They were
Tin coated. This is obviously why we still refer to them as tins, because I don't think it's tin anymore, is it? So, but yeah, we still, even in the aisles at the top of the supermarkets, it's still known as the tin aisle. Change comes slowly over here. I think we'll always call them tins.
were heavy, awkward, and had to be opened with a hammer, but they worked, damn it. By the mid-19th century, canned food was a novelty, something you'd show off because it could survive seasons, even years. But demand exploded during major wars, when armies needed cheap, durable rations. Soldiers brought the habit home, industry scaled up, and soon companies were canning everything from soups to stews to entire meals. And as the technology spread, so did the experimentation. And
So okay, now chow mein in a can doesn't sound that weird, because stew and soup in a tin, you know, it's not that crazy. Tin soup is still a big one over here, obviously. Beans, we love our beans. So yeah, it doesn't sound that odd now, but yeah, thinking about it, it's quite revolutionary, really, isn't it?
that's when
old
things
tin.
got crazy.
Cans. No,
The Burgermeister
cheeseburger in a
canned
can.
cheeseburger is a product mostly known from European outdoor survival catalogs. And yes, it's a fully assembled cheeseburger, bun, patty, cheese, and condiments.
know how I
All
feel about
cooked
that.
inside a can. Guess they couldn't fit French fries in there too. If
To be fair, that looks like a double cheeseburger from McDonald's. It doesn't look that much different, does it really?
you're wondering how exactly it works, you boil the can for a few minutes, open it,
Oh.
and out slides a warm burger, or at least something
Okay.
very much like one. Reviews suggest the bread turns pudding soft, and the cheese, well, it's trying its best to remember what cheese was. Intended for hikers, campers, and anyone willing to risk food physics for convenience, the canned burger has mostly gone out of style. That being said, if a nuclear war breaks out or society is undone by a disease that changes people into zombie hordes, we'll all be grateful that someone bothered to invent a shelf-stable cheeseburger that only needs boiling water. And
To be fair, I was about to pause that video and say, hey, when the zombie apocalypse happens, if you found a cheeseburger in a tin, you'd be on cloud nine. You'd be made up.
maybe an iron will.
Yeah, this one.
Scotland is the homeland of
I like
bagpipes,
haggis.
kilts, and groundskeeper Willie. And the national dish is
Groundskeeper
haggis.
Willie.
In case you're not familiar, haggis is sheep's heart, liver, and lungs, mixed with oats and spices. And it's been canned for decades. Canned haggis isn't weird to anyone who grew up within the song of a bagpipe's radius of Glasgow. But to outsiders, it feels like the final boss of the canned meat category. And
Final boss. See, I don't think it's that weird for the rest of the UK. Maybe younger generations probably find the idea of it like, don't really know what to expect from that. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's a staple, you know, but I think it's something that maybe 60% of people in the UK have tried at least one time in their life.
And unlike the canned cheeseburger, canned haggis is actually supposed to be good. You know, assuming you like that sort of thing. The can actually helps preserve the traditional texture, and many Scottish expats swear by it. It's used in breakfasts, Burns night celebrations, and generally any situation where carrying a whole sheep's stomach would be frowned upon.
Well, go figure, because it must be pretty normal to have tinned haggis in Scotland. I don't know. I've only ever seen it fresh. Like, you know, with the fresh meats and everything on that aisle. I've never actually seen it canned. But what do you know, Boomy? It's there.
It's not just peanut butter,
Really?
it's not just jelly, it's a whole finished sandwich. Invented for emergency kits, campers, and people who can't figure out the recipe for a PB&J, this pre-made version is sealed and sterilized, with the bread somehow remaining intact. Probably thanks to some sort of black magic. Honestly, don't think about it. Inside, it's more steamed than toasted, but reviewers note that the peanut butter still slaps, like a harder-to-access Uncrustable. That may be why these cans are still very popular, although part of that popularity might also be due to the pun-based name, Candwich.
A
Which,
Candwich!
yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, that is good. I like that. No. coming up next, it's my nemesis. It's the spotted dick. I have expressed a number of times, guys, that I cannot stand this dessert, this pudding. It should not have ever been invented. I'm sorry, it's vile. It's so nasty. Oh gosh, of course it's in a tin. Blech.
Spotted Dick is a classic British steamed pudding made from
Even got a
suet
funny
and
name.
dried fruit. So the weirdness here is 90% the name, 10% the fact that it comes in a can. Canned Spotted Dick is a shelf-stable dessert. Slice, heat, cover with custard, and you're dining like it's Victorian England.
Now, when you have a pudding that has to be saved by custard so that the overriding flavour is custard, I think we need to rethink the pudding.
The canning method actually fits the tradition, since English puddings have been steamed in containers
Yeah,
for
yeah.
centuries. So, second
makes
thought, the
sense.
weirdness is really like 95% just the name. Yes, it may appeal to those with a sense of humor of an 8-year-old, but come on. Canned Spotted Dick? That's just funny.
It's not just a spotted dick, it's a canned spotted dick. So yeah, we get canned or tinned syrup sponge. So like similar thing, but just syrupy and actually nice. So yeah, I'm not surprised that's available in a can. More just my absolute disgust at the actual pudding itself. What's this?
Imagine
whole
opening a can
chicken?
and sliding out, not
No.
chicken parts, not
No.
broth, or shredded breast for tacos, but a whole cooked bird. It sounds like something you'd see in an old cartoon, but this American oddity was actually a cult item in the mid-20th century. And that's largely because it solved a problem. People wanted a roast chicken,
I mean, it
but
looks
didn't
nice
want to
there.
roast a chicken. Hey, it was a problem, not a serious problem. And
That's not a chicken. I mean, that's a very, very little chicken. Are they like I don't know. Are they like a smaller bird that are kept in these cans? It's not a chicken. No, it's little. It's too small. Don't know how I feel about the look of that chicken slopping out of that tin.
Anyway, the general public's reluctance to roast their own chickens was likely due to accessibility or
no.
time spent. But surely, some of it has to be the novelty of a gelatin-soaked whole bird slowly gliding out of a can,
Maybe
like a
it makes
baby
it
being
nicer.
born. Practically speaking, the canned whole chicken is mostly used in casseroles or slow
Okay.
cooker dishes. But videos of YouTubers trying to plate the entire slippery
Jolly
bird like a
Boys.
gelatinous log have kept its legend alive.
Reindeer meat! I didn't even realise that people eat reindeers. Is there an abundance of reindeers wherever this is from? Oh, no, you can't eat reindeers.
And reindeer meat is common in certain Nordic countries where reindeer is a traditional, sustainable meat source. It often appears in stews or as a ready-to-eat delicacy, and the
it's more
flavor
like
is similar to
venison,
lean
isn't it?
beef or venison. The canning
yeah.
helps preserve the meat for long winters or for export. It's not a stunt food. It's just culture and climate working together. That being said, you might want to check it for bits of red nose before serving it to the kids.
I love good dad joke. It looks a bit like cat food.
Because you definitely don't want to have to explain what happened to Rudolph.
Tongue. Now, I have never tried beef tongue. Beef tongue? Cow tongue? I've never tried it until recently when I tried it for beef barbacoa. And it's delicious. I feel weird saying that because the idea of it, I'm peeling off that skin after it's cooked, after you've pressure cooked it, broke it down. That is, there's no getting around that. That's gross. Like peeling that off and it's got all the, I don't even know what they're called, the things on your tongue. That's not nice. But the tongue actually creates like the richness of the barbacoa. It's actually really nice. It was tongue cheek, and I think you can cut it into with like chuck steak. Do you know what I mean? Kind of stretch it a bit further because it's very rich just with the tongue in cheek. But yeah, it's actually delicious. I don't know how I feel about it coming out of a tin though.
Tongue in a can sounds like something you'd see in a video that you shouldn't be watching at work. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about beef tongue, pork tongue, and even veal tongue, which many countries have preserved in cans for decades. It's traditional in
They're
parts of
actually
Europe,
massive,
Latin
aren't they?
America, and Asia, where tongue is cooked slowly until tender.
Yeah.
Canned versions come pre-cooked and ready for slicing into sandwiches, tacos, or salads.
That's one of ours. That's from Marks and Spencer's. And they're quite, they're quite upmarket. It's quite nice, actually. Well, if Marks and Spencer's do it, it's got to be nice. Cured ox tongue. Really? I think it's just the fact that it's in a tin.
The texture is surprisingly delicate, and many chefs actually prefer it because it requires no long simmer at home.
It's very
Still, the
rich,
sight of a
though.
tongue sliding out of a can like something out of a John Carpenter movie is, one could say, memorable.
It doesn't look good. There's just something, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the size of our tongues that, I don't know. You see the size of a cow's tongue and you just think, how does it fit in the head? They're massive. Oh, here we go. Here's the bread in a tin.
Canned bread
That's
is a New
weird.
England legend that confuses everyone else on Earth.
still
It's
try
not
it.
a survival biscuit or some ultra-dry ration. It's actually brown
It is
bread
bread.
steamed inside a can, so that when you open it, it emerges as a perfect cylindrical, molasses-heavy, slightly sticky loaf.
Oh.
Traditionally served with beans or sliced and buttered, it's mostly useful for recipes that date back to colonial times, when
So this is sticky, sweet molasses. This is like a sweeter bread. That actually sounds quite nice. I was going to say, why not white bread in a can? Is there a reason? But maybe this is more akin to like a pudding, maybe? You don't steam it, do you?
steaming was easier than
Oh,
baking.
okay. Yeah.
With modern bread baking machines and more bakeries and even coffee shops selling bread, they have mostly disappeared, which is a shame, because if you ask New England locals, canned bread isn't weird so much as it is just very, very committed to its shape.
I think I've actually seen somebody mention that that's quite a thing from that part of the US. I'd definitely try it, especially with the mention that it's, molassesy and it's sticky and sweet. Mac and that's not odd. So I don't find mac and cheese coming out of a tin. I don't find that weird. I think we have similar things over here, like spaghetti with hot dog bits in it or meatballs. I think we actually do have the Heinz mac and cheese, I think, or something the equivalent of. So I don't find this weird. This one's actually quite normal.
Sure,
not saying it tastes
the world
great.
has boxed mac and cheese,
Yeah, I prefer
but
the
lots of
boxed
people
one.
find opening boxes to be difficult, or so you could assume, because otherwise it's hard to figure out why we need canned mac and cheese too. Nonetheless, it's a thing that exists.
Yeah,
And
doesn't
when
it
you
preserve better in
open
the
canned
boxes?
mac and cheese, what slides out is a solid, trembling cylinder of noodles glued together by a cheese sauce so orange it'll make the Sunny D in your fridge jealous.
Oh, that was a very good word for that. Yeah. Glued. It's very descriptive, very, very accurate, I think.
How you eat the noodle/cheese glob is, of course, up to you. You can slice it like a terrine. Some people fry the slices. Some mix it into casseroles. Some stare at it, wondering how life led them here.
Hamburger patties
Gravy
and
often comes in
gravy.
cans, and people sometimes put it on hamburgers.
Now, I can get on board with gravy being in a tin. That's not that weird.
So why not cut out the middleman and just stuff the hamburger in there too? Well, someone must have had that epiphany because they invented canned hamburger patties in gravy. All kidding aside, this American grocery store relic of the 1970s and 80s was really an attempt to combine Salisbury steak with ultimate convenience. And inside the can, you'll find several puck-shaped patties floating in brown gravy. You heat them up, slap them on a plate, and bam! You're done with dinner prep. Of course, it's less common to see Salisbury steaks at all nowadays, let alone canned for rapid convenience. Nonetheless, they both survive, mostly due to diners and vintage recipe blogs.
But they look quite small. They look a lot smaller than your normal patty. Oh, wow. This sounds interesting. Is this a delicacy somewhere? Pork brains, milk gravy. I'm on board with. You've converted me, guys from the US. Your gravy, as in gravy and biscuits, delicious. I really like it. I don't know if I could be converted to liking pork brains.
Brains. They're not
Too
just for
psychological.
zombies anymore. Actually, this southern
not?
U.S. specialty has been around for generations, and it's part of a long tradition of using every part of the animal. Once a
Yeah,
common
that's fine,
breakfast
yeah.
ingredient, pork brains are simmered in a creamy gravy, and historically, they were scrambled with eggs or served with biscuits. They're not as popular as they once were, canned or fresh. And that's not because modern Americans see eating brains as weird, or not just because of that. It's because nutritionally, they're extremely high in cholesterol, suggesting that all those Walking Dead survivors should have just laid low for a while and waited for the zombies to kill themselves off through their own terrible eating habits. Now, grab your can openers and, as they say in France, home of the canned food, bon appetit. So what do you think? And did any of those sound like something you might want to try? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, check out some of these other videos from Weird History Food.
Okay, I can get on board with the patties and gravy in a can. That doesn't seem that weird. It's just like meatballs, isn't it? But patties. I can get on board with the mac and cheese and the bread, that sticky molassesy kind of bread. That actually sounds really tasty. I'm sorry. Yeah, the pork brains. Where is that a delicacy? Where is that from? I think it's the pinkish tinge to the contents of what's inside the can. I can't, no. It would always be very, very, very much there in my mind that the texture of this, I'd have the image of the brain. I don't think I could actually get past that. I know. What does it taste like? I'm sure the gravy's fine, but it's the idea of the pork brains. I just can't get past it. The cheeseburger in a tin, in a can, sounds like something that you'd have to try. You'd have to try it once in your life, I think. I want to try this. I'm not too sure. I mean, I suppose the texture of the bun would be steamed, and that just reminds me of like dumplings and like bao buns, and I love those. So I think I would not be put off by that, but I can't get past the pork brains. Sorry, guys. Now, I'm wondering if we have weirder things that are kept in tins. I don't think we do. I think we've got very basic things in tins over here. Well, apparently we have haggis. I've not seen that. I'll keep a lookout, guys, and I'll let you know if I find any really weird, typically British things. It's not like, I don't think we have a fry-up in a tin or anything like that. But now I'm going to be looking out for weird things in tins. So thank you so much for requesting that video there, David. Thank you, my lovely. Interesting. Converted on some. I'll say, yeah, you've converted me. I'll try a handful of those. Not the pork brains. For those of you that have tried it though, where is it a delicacy from? And what is it like? What does it taste like? Guys, I hope you enjoyed watching along with me. Take care of yourselves and I will see you next time. Bye bye.